These are characters that had perfect endings to their story versus ones that had endings so bad it almost ruined the entire character. Iron Man's death at the end of Endgame was the perfect way to send off the character. He completed his arc he started in the first Iron Man movie where he was so selfish and being a complete asshole to pretty much everyone in his life, to then at the end of Endgame making the ultimate sacrifice. It was just such a great end. On the other side though, Jaime Lannister almost had one of the greatest character arcs in all of TV history, and then they decided to completely throw it away in the abysmal last season of Game of Thrones. I'll never forget the pure rage I felt first watching Jaime go back and dying with Cersei. It was so unbelievably stupid and disrespectful to the entire character. Darth Vader obviously has an incredible ending in Return of the Jedi. Like the good inside of him taking over and him killing Palpatine and then saving Luke by doing it. It's just so poetic. Anybody who's watched Modern Family, you gotta agree with me, Haley Dunphy deserves so much better of an ending to her story. Like they literally had the perfect match for her and Andy for her to end up with at the end of the day. It would have been an amazing story. But no, they decided to get her back with the absolute buffoon named Dylan, get them married, have kids. I'm still pissed about this. She should have been with Andy. Caesar from the Planet of the Apes trilogy had a perfect character arc and ending to his story. Especially after all he did to get a better life for his fellow apes. I'm so glad they let Caesar live long enough to see that, hey, everything paid off in the end before he died. On the other side of things though, Bob Newby from Stranger Things deserves so much better than the death he got. Not only was this dude one of the most likable and friendliest characters in the entire show, he was also a perfect match for Joyce. But my biggest problem with his death is that it was so unbelievably preventable. Like he literally ran away, closed the door behind him, got away from the Demogorgon, but then he just stands still for like 20 seconds like his controller died, and the Demogorgon of course catches up to him and kills him. I could not believe the disrespect to my boy Bob. Captain America's ending was absolutely perfect though. Like not only in Endgame did he get amazing moments like this proving he's worthy, but what really makes the ending perfect is that he got to go back in time and be with Peggy. It was a perfect ending for this character. Nobody deserved it more than him. The end of Han Solo's death in the sequel still rubs me the wrong way. Now, I don't hate the fact that they just killed off Han Solo. I actually think that was a bold move that I could appreciate, but it's what they did with his death. It could have been amazing if Kylo Ren actually became the main villain of the entire sequel trilogy, but you can't have Kylo then be redeemed after doing this. It just felt like they just tried to kill Han just to get him out of the way. Darth Maul has one of the best endings to a villain story of all time, but I'm not talking about in The Phantom Menace. I'm talking about his death in Star Wars Rebels, where he rematches Obi-Wan Kenobi and ends up losing this time. It was just the perfect ending. But on the other side of things, Bran's ending in Game of Thrones makes absolutely no sense and comes out of nowhere. Spoilers if you haven't finished Game of Thrones yet, but Bran does become the king at the end, and they even say who has a better story than Bran the Broken, which is just hilarious because literally almost any other character would have been a better king than Bran. Like he's literally not in an entire season of the show. Like everybody has a better story than him. We gotta get some sitcoms in here like New Girl. Don't act like you haven't watched the show because I know you have, and Jess and Nick's ending is absolute perfection. But it's not just them. Schmidt and Cece finally getting together was also great. The show really knew how to do slow burn relationships and not rush things. The ending of Erwin's story is actually incredible. Like the scene is great, it's great for the plot, but it's going in the fumble category because my boy deserves so much better. He should have got to see the truth. That's all he wanted since he was a kid, and he didn't get to see it. It's heartbreaking. Comment your picks for more of the best and worst character endings, but Wolverine's end in the movie Logan is also just absolute perfection.